Hey there, Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we have this time obviously is a really cool looking knife. This is the Yoshimi Kato SG2 Bunka 165mm knife. So the way these are made is they've got a core cutting edge steel down the center of SG2 full stainless steel. That's a powdered metallurgy steel that it takes a fine grain edge, and it's fairly easy to sharpen with good stones, and it holds a very nice edge. So it's a good balance. Again, it's a little bit more work than a traditional conventional stainless, but it has extra edge retention for that, and it will take a nice sharp edge and hold it for a long time. The heat treat's typically 62, 63 on that steel. The construction, as you can see, has multiple layers of various stainless cladding. I think there's probably some nickel in there. And then that's on either side of that, multiple layers, and it looks like it covers the spine. And then they do an acid etch on it, and what that does is make those different materials pop from the gray, like the gunmetal gray versus the shiny for the different materials. So this is one of the more visually interesting knives on the site, this line, and there's a lot going on here, but it really looks cool. So the weight and dimensions on these can vary just a little bit from knife to knife, so you might get some variations. This particular one is 120 grams or 4.2 ounces, so pretty darn light. The edge length about 172 on this particular one, so about 6.8 inches. And the overall length is about 12.3 inches, 313 millimeters. The spine thickness, these are thin. I just pretty much just got about 1.6 all the way down the line. And you can see we get that corner there with that reverse sword tip. There's the grind. It's super easy to see where the blade flats come down towards the edge, where the texture changes on that and the layers start to show. And so yeah, these are thin. Let's get the camera going here. So that's a thin tip, everybody. And that's like super skinny tip. So not super durable, but man, is it going to go through stuff. So it's no free lunch. And this is the edge profile. Again, very thin. So high performance grind for sure on these. Let's see what else. Blade height, so about 47 millimeters at the back, and that's plenty of height for ground clearance for your fingers. You've got a gradual curve here, slight back sweep to the chin, the back of the heel here, and then into the neck. And so there's a good spot for your finger there for a pinch grip. So it's comfortable in a pinch grip. Handles, this one handles really cool. They're all going to be a little different, but this one has some exceptional figuring to it. And so this one, they're made out of octagonal shaped, which is ambidextrous, walnut with a red paca wood ferrule, and nice fit and finish on the handle. It's got a bit of a gloss to it, so this, not just quickie finish. So they take the time and got a fairly high grit finish on it and a little bit of luster. So really nice job on this. It's real pretty. It brings out the depth of the wood. This wood does have some dimensionality to it when you look at it. It's hard for the camera's really not going to pick that up like you would see in person, but it's very nicely done. Good glue up job here. We've got good seal there where it goes into the handle with the tang. Just a beautiful handle. This is it's a neat aesthetic there, the combination of those two. So let's get our traditional beauty shot here for the cover photo for the YouTube video. And then this has laser etched kanji on the right side, and it pops from that etching there, so it's cool. You can really see it. And then, again, every knife's going to be a little different, but this is what the etching brings out with all those layers. This is your core steel right here, the gray, and then you'll have a shiny edge bevel there beyond that. Speaking of edges, this is a really nice, pretty high polished edge to it. I'll give it a 6, maybe 7 out of 10 on my scale, so very sharp out of the box. So let's see what it looks like on the cutting board. This is a really light, nimble. I don't think I did a balance on that. Let me balance this. I'm going to take the cutting board back up. I forgot to do that. So balance point, the handle's a little bit heavier with the material, so the balance point's a light, thin blade, so there's your balance point. Pinch grip's obviously going to be in front of that, but very light, nimble nonetheless. And here is our cutting board profile. So a fairly low tip, you can see, not a ton of belly towards the tip, just kind of a gradual curve towards the back half of the blade. No real big flat areas, although you got a little bit back here. And the tip is quite low, so I'm not going to get high on a rock here. The tip wants to start digging in pretty quickly. So you'll rock over small stuff, but that tip is quite low in relation to the center line of the blade. So this is definitely going to be a push-pull cutter, glide cutter. You could probably chop pretty well with parts of this as well, especially the back half, but I would not call this a rocker, but that's not typically a style of these anyway. So beautiful knife. If you want an interesting looking knife with a lot of I guess I'll use the word bling if you want, although this is really nicely done. It's not, I don't think it's ostentatious. It's just really well executed. But if you want something that's a conversation piece and people to go, whoa, this is a good candidate. So this is the Yoshimi Kato SG2 Bunka 165mm knife.